Good morning, everyone. Beautiful day here in southern Iowa. Today I thought I'd do a video on the basics of felling a tree. There is a lot of videos on shallow notch tree felling, and we'll go over what that is, but this is going to be more useful, I think, for a lot of you. We're going to do an open face fell today. If you watch our channel, you know we have just recently purchased the neighbor's property, and we are going to need lots of fencing next year. So I have this nice, tall, straight cedar. I'm going to cut this down and let it dry for the year. I thought it was a perfect opportunity to show you how to fell a tree. So in this case today, I'm going to be cutting right near the ground. Since I'm probably going to use this bottom 8 feet for planks and the rest of it for posts, I want to try and save as much of it as I can. You'll often see people cutting up a little bit higher, and it is easier to control. If you're just cutting the tree down to get it out of your way, sometimes it is better to cut here. If you're going to use a tractor or other implement to remove the tree, this gives you something leveraged against to pull the stump out of the ground. But if you're going to chip out the base of the tree, then you might as well cut it lower to the ground. You can also put like a metal ring around it, drill holes, and pour diesel or kerosene in the tree, let it soak up, and then light it on fire later and let it burn out. But probably don't suggest that if you live in a residential area, but if you live in the country, feel free. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to make our first cut. It's going to come in at roughly a 45-degree angle, and then we're going to make our second one. If we were doing a shallow notch cut, like I said, we would come in perfectly level, and we would come up here, and it would only come in probably 3 or 4 inches on this tree. But in this case, I want the hinge to last longer, so we're going to do a little deeper cut. I also am using a battery powered chainsaw because if the tree is small enough, they're just so much easier. I'm actually going to stand. All right, so here you can see I've made my first cut. We want to try and keep it nice and level. Additionally, if you're doing a shallow face, that probably would have started about here and ended about here. And if we were doing an open face, I actually probably would have been in further even a little bit at a little less angle. But I'm kind of trying to split the difference here and do it in between. So now I'm going to make my bottom cut here, and then I'm going to take my saw and bring it right around here to almost level, erring on the slightly higher side after I've removed my notch. And then I'm going to bring it in, and I'm going to use wedges to keep it from binding on my blade if I need to, but usually if you're cutting with a lean, it's just going to tip straight with you. Now that I've got my notch, I want it to be nice and clean, and you can see I've got a little piece here that I missed. So I'm going to clean that up. And then also, you probably can't see it on camera, but this side is about a 1/4 inch lower than this side. I had a little tilt on my blade, which you really shouldn't do. And that's because people tend to lift up on the motor, or in this case the electric motor side, and then tip the front of their blade down, which I did a little bit here. So you want to try and avoid that the best you can. And do my back cut here. I may actually switch to the other side of the tree just to get my hogs in the tree a little bit better. But so, kind of what I suspected. The tree was leaning a hair this way. And the wind's actually fighting me too, which I didn't notice when I started the video. But so I quickly put some wedges in here so my blade didn't get pinched. Now I'm going to pound them in further. It might go right now. I don't anticipate it going, but I have the camera rolling just in case. Well, that was probably anticlimactic. It went when I wasn't filming, but what I was doing was working the wedges in to get to this point to break my hinge. It fell exactly where I wanted it to. We didn't kill that tree. We didn't destroy the house. A few things I'd like to point out. I cut off all of these branches before I started just because they get in your way, and when you're trying to escape, sometimes they can be a real hassle. So you want to make sure you have a clear escape route. Additionally, I know some people are going to comment on the electric chainsaw. Comment as you will, I love them. That one has a 20-inch blade. Anything under a 40-inch tree, 38-inch tree, I'm going to cut with that. Gas is loud. It's inconvenient. And I'm just not a big fan unless it's absolutely necessary. If you're going to buy a nice like steel chainsaw or a Husqvarna, they are better than that Ego, but that Ego does pretty darn good job. I've taken down many trees now with it, and I will mill and cut this up with it, and it will do just fine. The only limit is battery life, and I have an extra battery, so when I'm done with one, I just keep one on the charger, and it allows me to continuously go. If I was going to go all day non-stop, I'd probably need 3 batteries instead of 2, but can't beat it for my opinion. It's also lighter. I just want to take a second to go over this project. If you watched because you want to learn how to fell a tree, I hope you learned something here today. I'm by no means a professional, but if you follow those techniques, you keep your blade flat, you have an escape route, you should be okay. If your tree is leaning significantly or you just feel really uncomfortable about it, I probably would suggest not doing it. It can be dangerous, or watching a lot more videos. Yeah, so I'm not a professional, take it with a grain of salt. If you like videos like this and you want to learn more about homesteading and ranching, which is really what our channel is about, please like and subscribe. If you do follow our channel, I just want to give you a little update on what we're going to do with this. I'm going to cut this into 8-foot sections because it's going to be more manageable since I've already taken off the top and side branches. Then I'm going to flip it on its side, cut off the bottom branches. Then I'm going to use my little cheap chainsaw mill to cut 4 flat faces on these to help them dry out faster, and I'm going to move them to the barn, get them up off the ground and get them dry until next year. At which point I'll treat the bases and we'll get them in the hole, and they'll be part of a bud box that we're going to build. Hopefully you can watch that video with us too. Just want to say we really appreciate you guys watching. We don't make any money from this YouTube channel, but hopefully we can help you a little bit, and maybe one day this channel can help us a little bit on our journey to start ranching from scratch. And this has been Chasing the Farm Life. Thank you so much.